Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the All-Purpose Foodie. I want to take a quick second to say thank you to my family. We just recently celebrated a birthday and they got me these really cool chef jackets with the name of the show embroidered on there, the All-Purpose Foodie. Some cool dishes that I'm going to be able to use in segments down the road and just some really cool stuff for what I'm doing right now. So nothing like the support of friends and family, so thank you. With that being said, let's dive into the segment today. Cast irons. I've been receiving some requests from you guys to do a segment on cast irons. How to season them, how to cook with them, how to care for them. Cast irons can seem complicated, can seem a little scary, and can be frustrating if you don't know what you're doing. But I'll tell you this, I've done it both ways. I've done it wrong, been frustrated, thrown them away, been like, I'm over this, came back to it a couple years down the road, did it right, and now they are literally my favorite tool in the kitchen. I will use any excuse possible to cook with a cast iron, and I make some of my best dishes with them, I think. Today we're going to be seasoning my brand new toy. I've got this little flat pan right here. It's going to be great. I'm going to use it to make pizzas, flatbread, maybe roti, and it'll be really, really cool, I think. So I'm going to be seasoning this bad boy today, and if you're seasoning a cast iron out there, here's what you're going to need. A sponge with a rough side on it, paper towels, and oil. The best oil to use now is flaxseed oil. The reasons behind that is it's supposed to harden harder than any of the other oils, so you'll get a better surface on there. But flaxseed oil is really expensive. Not a lot of people have it in their cabinet, and canola oil, which is what I'll be using, what I use all the time, works just fine. So a little bit of canola oil, paper towel, sponge, cast iron. Let's get started. First, take the rough side of a sponge and clean your pan under hot water. I don't like to use soap because cast iron is a porous material and actually can take on the flavor of whatever you clean it in. So just make sure to remove the dirt and the residue from the pan before you start the baking process. Once that's finished, we can move it to the stove. Place it on a burner and turn the burner on a medium to medium-high heat. We just want to make sure to dry all the water off. Once it's dry, turn the burner off and very carefully remove the pan from the heat. Once the pan is cool enough to handle, take your oil and put a little bit in the center. Remember, a little goes a long way. Grab your paper towels and evenly spread the oil across the entire unit. Get the sides, get the handles. When you first season a cast iron, you really want to make sure to season the entire unit. Also, this excess oil in the center, really make sure to wipe that up. You just want an even coat. Any excess oil will actually turn gummy during the baking process. Once you're finished with the top, turn it over and do it again on the bottom. Once that's complete, preheat your oven to 450 or 500 degrees. The reason we do this is we need to be able to take the oil to the smoking point. Flip the pan upside down and place it in on the oven rack. You're going to bake the pan for approximately 1 hour. Again, the reason we do this is we really want to make sure that oil gets to the burning or smoking point so that it breaks down and binds to the surface of the cast iron. This is what creates that seasoned surface we're looking for. Once it's complete baking, turn your oven off and let the pan cool. Alright guys, there we have it. Our cast iron's fully cooled, fully seasoned, and ready to do some cooking. A couple quick tips to leave you guys with. 1. I like the first thing that I cook in a brand new cast iron to be something like bacon or chicken with the skin still on, something with a healthy fat content that can help further the seasoning process of my pan. It's just something I like to do. Second, never take a screaming hot cast iron skillet and throw it under cold water. You can risk cracking the cast iron. What you want to do is remove it from the heat just for a couple minutes, let it just get warm, not all the way cold, and rinse it. If there's food stuck on there, use a little bit of salt and the rough side of a sponge. Never soap, no cleaning products. You will affect the surface and you'll affect the taste, and you don't want to do that. So rough side of the sponge, some salt, all you need, rinse it. After you've cleaned the pan, put it back on the stove warm, turn the heat back on, let the water dry out of there, and then add oil like we did when we seasoned this. Spread it around in there real nice and even. Not a lot, just enough to coat the pan. You don't have to do the bottom at this point. bring it back up to the smoking point. We're breaking down that oil and binding to the surface, and you will improve and build that surface, that seasoning over your cast iron. It's one of the reasons cast irons get better with time. You want to make sure to take the oil to the smoking point because oil can go rancid and it can get sticky on the cast iron. These don't have any protective handles. It's all cast iron. So constantly have it in your mind that these could be very hot. Use hot pads. Don't want you burning yourself. Some people say that you don't want to cook acidic items in a cast iron because it'll break down the surface. Now, while you don't want to do something terribly acidic, something like roasting tomatoes or cooking a quick tomato dish is all right. I just make sure to transfer it to a serving bowl, rinse the pan, and re-season it with oil right after I do it. But I've been cooking tomato dishes and stuff like that in my cast irons for years, and I haven't had any issues. So the only other thing I would say is when you're cooking with a cast iron, one, don't take a cold cast iron and throw cold food in it. What you'll want to do is you'll want to preheat the cast iron, let it get warm. Cast irons don't heat evenly, but once they are up to temp, they're a very even distribution of heat. So let it get up to temp all the way across, and then start adding your food. You don't want to put cold food in a cold cast iron because that's going to cause one of the biggest gripes and complaints about cast irons is food sticks. So make sure you're oiling your cast iron or buttering your cast iron before you cook with it. Bring it up to heat and then put your items in. Cold on cold, it's never a good idea. Please don't forget to like, comment, and to subscribe. If you have any questions or tips of your own, leave them in the comments. If you have any requests for segments you would like me to do, please leave them in the comments. And go ahead and check out the allpurposefoodie.com. It's a young website, but we're growing all the time, doing our best. And until we eat again, I'll see you next time.